From somewhere deep within the inner workings of the machine comes an irregular clanking sound, then a weak gurgle. Inoperable, the machine churns into life. Gears rotate and pistons hiss from somewhere within its metal housing. It settles into a slow metallic chug, ready for the next lever perhaps. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate and pistons hiss from somewhere within its metal housing. It settles into a slow metallic chug, ready for the next lever perhaps. The machine churns into life. Gears rotate and pistons hiss from somewhere within its metal housing. The machine rattles, grinds and hisses for a protracted moment, building in intensity, then settles down into a steady mechanical thrum, functional by the sound of it.
It's working.
Your footsteps fall into a heavy rhythm, like a pickaxe striking stone. A dozen pickaxes working in labored unison. Your hands feel empty. Why isn't there a pickaxe in them, joining the crew? The steady rhythm of the pickaxes is drowned out by a sonorous growl. The heat around you spikes in intensity, searing with rage.
Your will is strong. I applaud that. But know I shall find you again and again. I can grant you majesty beyond compare. Go to the land without a name. Find the mark of the dragon worshippers.
A symbol materializes above you, a broad arrowhead made of flames. The voice and vision disappear, but a cold presence lingers nearby. An invisible gaze weighs upon you.
After all this time, I never thought I'd walk our halls again.
This is the archaeological discovery of a lifetime.
15 orations. Here begins the account of Wolfram, lead archaeologist. Captain Ollis tells me there may be something worth excavating in this curious cave. I have hired a gaggle of locals with shovels. They insist this cave is haunted, but it's amazing the ghosts you can chase away with a heavy purse of gold. 16th oration. Incredible. I've never seen craftsmanship like this. Was it a tomb? A temple? The pillars to the seventh suggest some religious purpose. There is more, hidden behind the barrier. The workers are grumbling again, but I'm an expert on the undead. Of their ghost, if their ghost was real, I would know. 17th oration. Idiots. The workers claim I've been meddling with the gas. I only took a small chip from the pillar. I had to test it somehow. And now they've sealed me down here. Nothing left but to examine the columns and hope they return. Each of the 7 seems tied to an element of a thread. Relic, earth, air, tears, zor, fire, tau, magic. Oration. I don't think I'm alone. I was sure I've heard the voice as I slept, but I couldn't make it out. I was faint and هذوك les dieux كل واحد فيهم. It's there in here. Whatever it is, it's real. The guardian help me.
What a way to die.
Okay.
Down here in this darkness. Poor soul.
Well.
The sculpture is covered in strange, trying to read the symbols. You hear a faint whispering at the back of your mind, as if you're listening to the echoes of a past age. Your mind swims, and you read, "Our first lords babes with power glowed, our seconds born in blood that flowed. Our thirds young to the wind return, our fourths to glowing flames adjourn." Our fifth lord's cubs with minds were blessed. Our sixths had brawn beyond the rest. Our seventh brood spread from earth to glen, and thus no king shall rise again. You try. The sculpture is covered in strange glyphs. The only visible ornament is a deep-set stone that emits a gentle glow. Trying to read the symbols, you hear a faint whispering at the back of your mind, as if you're listening to the echoes of a past age. Your mind swims, and for a moment, the glyphs become clear. You read, "Our first lords babes with power glowed, our seconds born in blood that flowed. Our thirds young to the wind return, our fourths to glowing flames adjourn. Our fifth lord's cubs with minds were blessed, our sixths had brawn beyond the rest. Our seventh's brood spread from earth to glen, and thus no king shall rise again." You try to hold your focus as the whispering echo fades, but the letters waver, contorting and merging until they're nothing but meaningless glyphs once more.
It's Amadia, the mother of wizards. Sendilius, poet and patron god of the elves. Duna, the stoutest of the seven. No wonder the dwarves pray to him. Blessed Zolstis, an elegant god for our elegant people. Zantedza, the goddess of mirth, worshipped by imps. The god of the orcs, Vrogir.
Rallic, the first of the seven. He was as bullish as Vrogir, in his own way.
That's it. We're through. What infernal business is this? I wonder what they did in life to deserve such a resting place.
As the creature crawls from the sarcophagus, you hear a gasp of breath. Fane steps forward, never taking his eyes off her.
I must speak to her. It is vital. Please, stand aside.
You hear a gasp from the creature as Fane steps forward. It speaks in a hissing, clicking language that seems both completely alien and somewhat familiar. Fane raises his head and responds in the same jolting, clicking tongue. He seems to be pleading with the creature, his hands outstretched. The creature looks down at him and shrieks in rage. Her gestures are quick, strong, and violent. Whatever she said, it seems to have devastated your friend. The verbal barrage continues, but something changes within Fane. He looks up, and golden light pours from his skull. When he speaks next, you understand every word, but you're not sure the words are his own.
Aetira, Aetira. I had hoped to see you turn to dust in this tomb. Alone, forgotten, with only your secrets for comfort.
Lady Amadia? You possess him? Have you fallen so far that you seek shelter within that? Does your vessel even know what you did? The war you started, the greed and avarice that saw you betray the Eternals?
The glow fades, and Fane seems to return to himself. He staggers slightly, exhausted by everything that's happened. The creature turns away from him and, panting, turns to you. The creature looks down from its perch, trembling. It crawled out of that sarcophagus as if it had forgotten how to move its limbs. It turns to you, and you see its face is covered by an intricate mask. From behind its unmoving lips, you hear a noise. It starts as a groaning, croaking chatter, but slowly becomes more distinct. It's speaking.
Mais Saravel te de larentu, Chamery?
The stream of noise cuts off abruptly. After a moment, you hear a jolting, lurching voice.
It wears the face of Rallick, but speaks the tongue of beasts. How cruel. I suspected the Seven Lords won the war after they locked me here, but seeing their faces on dumb creatures, a depressing confirmation. Fascinating. So quick to anger. It has the outward appearance of one of our kind, but underneath it is so very primitive. Perhaps this is to be expected when creation is left to 7 amateurs. The king would never have been so sloppy in his work.
Deep within your soul, you feel your god stirring at the sound of the voice. You can feel its anger and fear swelling inside you. The creature leans forward to get a better look at you, clucking and tutting under her breath.
It seems to be a simple form at its core, a sauce vat. A walking, unfortunately talking, sauce vat. Fascinating. I wonder how to extract the sauce from the vessel without...
She pulls back suddenly, recoiling in horror.
It is rotting. Almost imperceptibly, but it decays before my eyes. It does not even have a century left.
The god within you reacts, his emotions a cocktail of fury and fear. You hear his voice, demanding that you give him control, demanding your body obey his will.
Etera, you worm. An eternity locked away was too good for you. I should have seen you ground to dust and fed to the wind. Your heresies deserve nothing less.
The figure recoils, as if struck.
Rallick, what happened to you? Did you truly fall so far?
Silence! It is your king that has fallen. He and all the other eternal cowards were flung into the void, and the power you were too scared to hunt has made me a god.
And yet here you stand, small, weak, decaying. I will not even need the Aeteran to grind you into the dust.
You feel your god freeze at the mention of this Aeteran, a cold terror settling in your chest.
Where is it?
Ha! Of course you never found it. You always lacked imagination, Lord Rallick. I hid it in these very caves, although I can feel its distance now. Someone has uncovered it. Perhaps they intend to flay the godliness from you. No matter. Given your pathetic state, it is mine to collect at my leisure. As for that monstrosity you have made your shell, it was designed to die, and I think it is time that design were fulfilled. Do not worry. The source shall not be wasted. It will carry me from this tomb. It will bring me freedom at last.